This will be take 623 because I'm high anxiety right now and I keep screwing this up. At least I think so in my brain. Hey guys, Crystal here, and today I'm going to do something that I should have done forever ago. I wanted to do tag videos. I've done them before. They're going to be above my head and down below. And I wanted to do another one. So off to Google I go to find inspiration in different tags that have been created by different creators. And then I discovered this one, the Author Newbie Tag, created by Jenna Dark1. Link will be down below for that. I'm like, oh my god, I should have done this before any other AuthorTube video that I put on this channel. Well, I'm really good at doing things backwards, reverse order, late, however you want to put it. It's kind of my shtick. And I have heard of it before. I heard about it during streams from the Troublemakers and the World Write-a-thon and other people's videos, but I never really clicked into my brain what actually was going on until I found it on Google. I mean, gaming itself is very sheltered and in a bubble, and I always thought that AuthorTubing had a bit more finesse and etiquette to it, and I was always wondering if I should do or shouldn't do, or should I have permission or not permission. And just the concept of doing some AuthorTube videos just ranks my anxiety up to 11 because I'm not 100% sure if I should do it since I'm a hybrid channel. Well, I asked, and thanks Violet, you're like, do it because I've seen it and you should do it, so I'm gonna do it. So here we are, it's happening. Real talk, I'm like at 100 anxiety today. I woke up this way. Okay, let's just do this before I talk myself out of it. For some reason. Because that's the mood today. Question 1. How did you find out about AuthorTube? I found out about AuthorTube when I was trying to look up a thing. Kind of like the whole tagging video to begin with. I don't even remember what it was I was looking up. I was trying to write. I was getting started with Nano. That's what it was. I was trying to look up how to participate in Nano. Or what is Nano. And I found YouTube videos because, you know, how-to videos are everywhere, so that was where my brain went. And I discovered channels like Jenna Moresi and iWriterly and so many other channels I can't think of right now. The rest is history at that point, and I got involved and just started eating up all of the content. Like, half of my YouTube subscription on my main channel right now is AuthorTubing. It's AuthorTubing and gaming news, which is kind of what I want to be. So, hey! What genres? Question 2. What genres do you write in? I am mostly a paranormal fantasy, high fantasy, urban fantasy writer. Basically, I have vampires, magic, dragons, and most of my stuff is kind of D&D inspired, even if I'm writing it in like a modern timeline like now. Except I'm not like, if I'm writing the high fantasy, I don't want to say that I'm writing like medieval fantasy because I'm not. I just throw stuff in, all my favorite architectures and styles and stuff like that, because fantasy is all made up and not all of it has to be Tolkien. Even though sometimes it sounds like Tolkien. And that's its own little nutshell. I might actually make a video of that now that I'm thinking about that. Stay on target. Question number 3. What is your preferred writing tense, point of view, and category of the story? You know, children's, young adult, adult, new adult, etc. I am I love writing in third-person tense. I like third-person, like, you know, the camera's right behind you, but you're also kind of getting the character dialogues when your character notices something and they go, ah, fuck, that. I write like that. I used to write in first person. My first completed story was in first person. Trying to read that back is just cringy, and I'm terrified of ever writing in first person again. It's like trauma. It's like, I don't want to experience anything like that ever again. So I don't feel comfortable writing in first person anymore. I write young adult and adult mostly. My first story was published as a young adult. I'll get to that. Yeah. And real talk, I get really confused when it comes to category. Young adult, new adult, adult. Because I have a tendency of writing characters in their late teens, early 20s, and sometimes early 30s, just because everyone has ages. And growing up, I was always friends with older kids and younger kids, and just going all the way. I have teacher friends that I've been friends with, kind of, ish. Get the idea. So I've always written that way. So I have a rough time categorizing myself in that way. I mean, right now, my main character, is in her 30s. And she's dealing with stuff and things that make life difficult. But she also has a teenage sister who I also switch to her point of view occasionally. And I switch to characters way older than that. Like, way older, because I write vampires. So, like, my first story, the one that I'm kind of trying to rework as a secret, not so secret now I'm talking about it project, where she's 16, technically, is when she was made, when she was turned, but she was turned over 1,000 years ago. So just because she looks 16, she's not 16. So am I writing a young adult, a new adult, or an adult? I don't even know half the time. So that's a roundabout way to answer that question. Question 4. Are you a planter, plancer, or plotter? Well, as much as those words sound really weird on my face when I say it, I want to call myself I used to be a pantser. Fly by the seat of kind. I wanted to tell you that I'm a recent convert and now I'm a plotter, because I love outlines and structure, and it makes me feel a lot less manic and anxious and other words. But I have a tendency to jump right off that outline into Pantsville. So I guess I'm a planter, but planter is the one that really feels weird coming out of my face. So how about we just call me a hot mess and call it a day? Question 5. Are you self-published, published, or have yet to be published? I consider myself a yet to be published. I do have a recent video saying that I was published. Links are going to be everywhere. But things kind of happened and stuff didn't go well, and it's a whole thing. So I do want to say that I want to go down the self-publish route, but I'm also thinking of querying again. So you know how I mentioned the whole hot mess thing? Well, I'm an indecisive hot mess. So yeah, that. Question 6. What publishing company, literary agent, and or printing company are you represented or use? If you are not yet published, what is your dream publishing house and literary agent? I am not part of anything, since I am yet to be. I want to say that my dream publishing houses would be Scholastic or Penguin, and I only say that really because those are the first things that came to mind. I grew up with Scholastic books like Harry Potter and R.L. Stein and stuff like that. And I mean, who hasn't heard of Scholastic? They're massive! And Harry Potter is one of my favorite series of all time. I'm Canadian, so who hasn't heard of Penguin? I mean, I think half of my college textbooks are Penguin. So there's that. To be fair, when I look at a book, I don't necessarily notice most publishing names. It's kind of like when someone tells you that this person made this movie, and that actor is in that movie, and my answer is who? Without Googling or looking through all of my books, I don't know about publishing houses or companies. I mean, let's be real. I'm just really bad at, like, knowledge when it comes to names. Actor names, place names, names, me, bad. Anyway, up until this year, I had no idea what a literary agent even is. Because when I was published through the publishing house that shall not be named, I didn't have an agent. I didn't know you needed an agent. So I'm still learning what all this stuff is. Question 7. What AuthorTube related videos can we expect from your channel? So I really like doing tag videos. Obviously, I said that at the start. They're really fun, and it really lets me gush about the stuff I'm into. You know, games, stories, writers, writing, you know, all that stuff. I also want to do vlog styles, where I also gush about all the things I'm interested in, or thoughts that I have in my head. I mean, the Writer's Mind series that I've got on this channel, yeah, that was weird. That was weird. I might do more of those. I might not. But yeah, stuff like that. Vlogs, and maybe I can try my hand at a video essay or two. I do want to do this project where I take a craft book that I've got. It's one of my favorites. This bad boy. This one. I want to write an entire series based on the advice of that book. But that concept in itself is just so mind-bogglingly overwhelming that I'm procrastinating about it kind of a lot. It'll happen eventually. It's kind of like my D&D series will happen eventually. I do have scripts written for that. I just have to finish the animations. So more stories about my D&D campaign, a lot of story content, talking head stuff. I also kind of want to review books that I used to read as a child. I still have some of them. Goodnight Kiss by R.L. Stine, the entire Darren Shan series, the Cirque du Freak series. So the series by Darren Shan, the Cirque du Freak series. You get the idea. My aunt gave me every single one of those books for Christmas when I was a kid, and I loved reading them. So I kind of want to review those books that I read as a child and see if they stack up to how I enjoy literature and reading and just that sort of thing as an adult. So that might show up on the channel. I still have so many of the books I read as a child. Heck, over there on that shelf somewhere, I have Twilight, and I might reread that nonsense to see if I liked it. If I like it nearly as much as I did in high school. But that's a whole other topic, and we're really trying to stay on target. Question number 8. When did you start writing? I started writing when I was really little. Like back when Apple computers had color wraps around them. But I really dug my heels in when I was in high school. Like, we're talking, instead of French class, I'd have my French textbook out because it was bigger than the notebook I had. And I would be writing my story. And I got in trouble for that. And I guess that's a story for later. But he respected the fact that I knew who I was. And I wasn't going to get anything out of French. Awkward. I was a good student. That's the only reason why I passed. I was having so much trouble dealing with a lot of stuff in high school to the point where I just dug in to writing because it felt better. I felt safer writing. I felt comfortable writing. And I've had people tell me it's a form of self-therapy. And I probably should have tried the real kind instead. But yeah, no, I've been writing forever. Because I'm 30. And yeah, it's a thing. The question 9. What is the first story you've ever wrote? The first story I ever wrote was called The Adventures of Ghost Cat and Supergirl or something like that, where it was kind of like X-Men meets Batman meets almost every other superhero everywhere, as long as the kids were 10 or the characters were 10. Because I was 10, so 10-year-olds. And I can't even believe I remember so much about it. I remember they were twins, and I remember one of them had powers turn invisible, and the other was super strong. And they had to do some stuff to stop this evil lady, and there was a special necklace involved. And everyone had crazy powers, and none of it made sense. Maybe middle school or 10 would be younger than that. Anyway, that was back during the floppy disk era, or the second edition floppy disk era, the one that was a little smaller, not the big one. So it's been lost to time since back when I was in high school. I was using the same floppy disk, and I had to fit my story, the one that I was currently working on, the one that eventually did get published. And none of my other projects matter, so it and a few other choice cringe is lost to time. Question 10. What authors have inspired me to write most? I want to say it's a tie between Anne Rice and J.K. Rowling. I'm a huge vampire fan. I mean, it's kind of insane, and I've been told multiple times that I should write something else other than vampires, and maybe later. I've seen almost every vampire movie ever made, and I've read half of the Vampire Chronicles. I loved Interview with the Vampire so much. We actually had this exercise in high school that we had to have an interview with one of our characters, and I was writing a vampire character, so I started writing my own variant of Interview with a Vampire, except for it was just the first part where, oh my god, Brad Pitt, see what I mean with names? Brad Pitt's character was interviewing with the reporter dude, and it was like a 20-minute skit where they're like just talking about it, and that was as far as it went. But I did that, and it was fun and weird. Mostly weird. And I loved Witching Hour. Witching Hour is one of my absolute favorite Anne Rice books of all freaking time. Like, we're talking, I literally lost track of time. Food, just no, like, there was nothing getting me out of reading that book. I vividly remember my husband going, hey, you should eat something. And I'm like, I will. Leave me alone. And then it was like 4 a.m. I killed that book in like 3 days. It was amazing. I mean, I always told people that one day I wanted to grow up to either be like Anne Rice and J.K. Rowling. You know, without all the controversy and scandals and stuff that comes attached with J.K. Rowling, because I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. No. At least as far as Harry Potter goes. This series inspired me to believe in magic. Or not like believe in magic, but like magic was something you could actually have without overcomplicating it. Because fantasy is just huge. It's so massive. And Harry Potter just kind of squished it all into a little digestible chunk that you could just eat. Just nom, just word, nom, all the things. You didn't need a lexicon or a cheat sheet or, you know, a map or extra stuff to really enjoy the book. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Freaking Tolkien. So yeah. Question 11. Do you schedule your writing sessions, or is it simply whenever you get a chance to write? When I was doing Nano, I had this mentality of I'm going to write every single day until I'm exhausted, and then I can do other things. I'm not allowed to do any other thing until I write. And to be fair, not exactly the most healthy thing I've decided to do. It's also not the least healthy thing I've decided to do. But, you know, that's the luxury of being unemployed and between jobs and going through all the crap that I've gone through in the last year, 2 years, 3 years. It's been a wild ride, folks. Mostly, I do try to write when I can find the time to write, though sometimes I feel like I'm spinning way more plates around me. That was the joke, was that I've got so many things I want to do and so many things I want to try that it's like, if I had one more project, if I had one more thing to my list, then all the plates are going to fall down, crash on my head, and I'm going to cry like a child in a corner. But yeah, I try to write when I can, I guess. Especially with my current project, like, I am chomping at the bit to write. I have not been this excited to write in over 12 years. Right now, I've got it out to critiquing people, and I'm waiting for notes back. So anytime I have a brain thought and I want to write things, I have to write it down. Like, right now, I'm writing the world-building history story beat for the entire series so I can keep my story consistent, so I don't accidentally change the history as my characters say it. It's the problem when you write prequels. I'm getting off topic again. Meh! Question 12. Do you type on a computer or typewriter, or write everything out by hand? Or do I use a blend of all the things, and where do I write in general? I write everything on the computer right now, like this machine, the one we're sitting in right now, in front of. I use it to film, I use it to game, I use it to write. This is my command center. This is my comfy zone. I've got everything. I got one of those desks that have like the top, so I have like a shelf with all my minis above it. Cat wants it really bad. But this is pretty much where I do everything. I used to write by hand, but I have a rough time holding the pencil sometimes, like for long periods of time. And when I'm writing at the computer, it just goes, which is great because I have a tendency to think faster than I write, which is why I'm really bad at script writing too. Like, I have a script for this, and it's not the same because my brain is just going. It's also part of my manic energy for the day. So yeah, I can type a lot faster than I can write, and I can just go. So I write a lot with my keyboard, with my computer. Question 13. What are you looking forward to now that you are part of AuthorTube? I'm looking forward to all the stories. I really enjoy watching other people's videos and coming up with videos and telling stories and coming up with video ideas I've never even tried before. I mean, I did mention the whole gaming YouTuber versus AuthorTuber thing. This has made me excited to be a YouTuber again. I thought gaming would be easier to get into than writing, but now writing is more like, there's more I want to talk about, and this gives me the excuse to talk about things without people looking at me like I have 3 heads. Because when you're a writer talking to non-writers, sometimes they look at you like you're nuts. I mean, when you're talking about gaming to game nerds, it's the same thing. Basically, everyone looks at me like I'm crazy 9 times out of 10. So being a part of a community that doesn't think you're crazy, or is just as crazy as you, really depends on your perspective, is amazing. I love this community. Like, And I've talked to some amazing people who have amazing ideas and are just really good people. The community is insane. And I feel weird walking into AuthorTube with my gaming controller. I still want to do it, and I'm excited to do it, and I feel like it's kind of stupid that I feel that way, because gamers write and writers game, and everybody really does everything. It just really depends on what you talk about. You know what I mean? Am I rambling? I might be rambling. Yeah. That. I'm looking forward to everything. So that's the video. I should have done this months ago. And, but we're here. We did it. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm always doing things late. I'm always seeing things late. There are games that I've played that are probably 10 years old that I've never touched. Books that are popular I've never read, that I want to read. TV shows that I've never watched, that I want to watch. You get the idea. I'm late to everything. So, we're here. We're ready to have some freaking fun. I look forward to doing more of these videos, watching AuthorTube videos, and really embracing my hybrid gaming, writing, YouTuber, AuthorTuber thing to its fullest. Procrastination notwithstanding. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and like this video if you like it. Help me defeat the evil YouTube algorithm. Comment if you got, comment if you want. You can comment. I read them. It's a thing that I do. Subscribe if you haven't, because, I like subscribers. They're great. I was convinced to start a Patreon, but I didn't start a Patreon. I started a different page called Buy Me a Coffee, so there's that. Links below. I don't even know how to really handle that much either. But I'm learning, and stuff might show up on it. I stream on Twitch Mondays and Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm considering moving over here and switching things up. And all the AuthorTube community is more here than over there. So, yeah, I'm thinking of moving over here. We'll see. Comment down below what you think about that, because I don't know. Anyway, I loves you all very, very much, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye!